Um, Church, this is the third video of the day. It is still July 31st. It is right now 3:08 p.m. The apartment was gassed, and my milk in the refrigerator was filled with laxative. So after leaving here this morning at 4 o'clock, after I completed the video for an hour and 16 minutes, I went over to Starbucks down on 2nd and Main Street, and apparently the police department came back in here, and the police department put laxative in between Michael Bunn, who is the manager, the police department, Gabriel Franklin, John MacArthur, and those older people that are against me, probably including my own mother and father. I don't know how many of them there are. I mean, there's a whole group of them. They put laxative in the milk so that I would shit. So I spent, after I was done here, I went down to Starbucks to try to upload the two videos. The one from last night at Pioneer Square, where I was out of my head and just going crazy against them, to the second one that I did at 5 o'clock this morning, or yeah, whenever it was this morning that I completed it, the second video, which is Duclairon's second rebuttal, and I tried to clarify what was going on. They would not allow me to upload the videos. So Starbucks, and then after that I went to McDonald's. McDonald's would not allow me to do it. Starbucks would not allow me to do it. And it's not necessarily the staff, but it's the people that are in the background, which is the government and the U.S. government and the gay community, and probably the Klan too, who is in the background masterminding and controlling with MacArthur and the Franklin family. They are still trying to control me to submit to them as a slave. So slavery is heavy in this part of the country, and this is what is at hand. I'm not submitting to slavery. I'm not submitting to sexual slavery to this Haitian woman. So I come back here and I sit in the television room for an hour. The sign, this is the sign that was up right there. The fellowship sign right there. Right there, that's the To Fellowship. Meet with Kevin on Friday nights and Sunday mornings in the Gretchen Kafuri Common lobby. And then right there is Remember Church. I'll show you. Okay, this is the sign that's up. Okay, Christian Church Fellowship. All right. This is what I had. This is what I've been doing with my time when I'm not working for Labor Ready. So, so as far as Christian Fellowship is concerned, I didn't get any today. The church never came out. I mean, Europeans in this country playing the role of the church are not really the church. They're white homosexuals and Klansmen. There is another spirit that I'm sensing and that I'm feeling. I don't believe it to be the Holy Spirit. They say it's the spirit of Genesis. I don't know that spirit. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know what to tell you. I came back from going to McDonald's, and I came directly here because I couldn't upload the two videos. They wouldn't allow it. They have control over the computer. And the patrons who know what's going on turn on me wherever I go. At Starbucks, I had to basically show and tell the person behind the counter what was going on, is that they have control over the computer. Also, they're coming into the apartment, and this is what they're doing. They're sabotaging my watches. This is my watch that they're sabotaging, and they're also sabotaging the cord. This is the original computer cord that came with the computer right here. This is the original computer cord that came with the computer. So this is what they're doing. They're sabotaging watches. They're sabotaging computer cords, and now they've got control over the computer, so they're sabotaging that too. So there's nothing I could do. I'm sort of stuck in this situation here. This is the complete opposite of what African Americans are getting. By now, African Americans would have been shot and killed. Okay, so I don't really know what's taking them so long to kill me. I'm not exactly sure what they're waiting for. If they're waiting for me to attack somebody like Corolla, or they're waiting for me to stab somebody. I think that's what they're waiting for. They're sort of like doing things and waiting for me to respond in violence before they take me out. They need to have a violent response from me before they murder me, or before they shoot me, or they kill me, or whatever it is that they're doing. This is what MacArthur and Franklin and the government, the gay community, the Klan, this is the whole group of them, including the staff in this apartment complex, and the homeless community, the homosexuals. I mean, it's just a huge group of wicked, malicious, and vicious Europeans, Africans who subjected themselves, Haitians who subjected themselves, that are continuously doing things, and they're not going to stop until I respond in violence. So coming back here, I sat in the television room for an hour and waited until 10 a.m. Not one person. There are two church groups. There's one church group that meets over here at Grace Bible Church, and there's another church group that meets over here at St. Stephen Church. And there's also another church group where I have a poster, and they're praying. They're supposed to be praying for me at First Baptist Church. And of course, Imago Dei knows that I have a meeting here. Not one Christian ever showed up. Not one Christian came to pray. Not one Christian responded to what I did yesterday at the Pioneer Square. Not one Christian responded to what they're doing to me in every single store. So here you are in Portland, Oregon, and all of these Europeans are putting on the facade. So behind the facade of Christianity is the devil. So now it's like, well, who am I talking to? If I know that, I guess I'm talking to the Christians that are on the globe, those people that are walking in my shoes, those people that have access to the internet and know that this is where it's at. So I came up here at 11 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, I think it was, and I ate breakfast, which was, I ate some cereal and some milk. When it hit my stomach, I basically I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I had to just sit. I had to sit on the shitter, and it's like for 2 hours I sat there, back and forth, using the restrooms and laying down on the bed. They caught me off guard. I completely forgot about them coming in. They came in, and basically for about 2 hours I slept. And right now it's 3:15, and I've been talking for about seven minutes or so. So when they came into the apartment, they basically raped me again. When I woke up, I could smell the vagina of Gabriel Franklin. You can smell the sickness, of this woman on your body, on your own genital, the vapor of it. So I laid here on this bed. And if it's not bed bugs that you see on the bed, it's this woman sucking my penis, or this woman molesting me with her vagina. She's literally, she comes in here, and I think what they do is they if I'm laying on my stomach, they flip my body, give me a shot somewhere, erect me, so she could, lift up her skirt and sit on top of me. This isn't a little girl that I'm talking about. This is a grown 90-something-year-old woman. And if it's not her, then it's those Haitian women, the other Haitian women that I don't know. This is humiliating and embarrassing because, I'm a Haitian from another country, and this is what we're getting from the American government and the police department of Portland, Oregon, just like Seattle, Washington. Nothing has changed. If I call the police right now, they're going to say to me, well, what evidence and what proof do you have? Right? What evidence and what proof do you have that somebody came into your apartment and sexually assaulted you and pierced your hands, and pierced your feet and left your genital, erected, or left you molested, right? Molested and erected. So this is the ongoing thing here. So now, after all the preaching that I did last night, yelling, screaming, carrying on, and confronting this thing, and of course what they did at me coming out again at 5 o'clock in the morning, here we are 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the middle of the day, and I've already been fucked. Okay, so you tell me, what are you people living out there in this American continent? If at broad daylight this woman is fucking me with John MacArthur in the background, and the police department is in the building, probably 2 doors down, or two floors up, or 2 floors from underneath, and I don't know when, and they've got her voice on the intercom saying no, right? They've got her voice on the intercom. I can hear her on the inside of my head. And MacArthur is telling his white friends that I'm not a Christian. That's what he's telling to his white friends, so that his white friends could support him. And of course, what videos do you think they're going to show? You know, what videos do you think he's going to use to make sure that all of his white pastors and all of his white leaders stand with him? But the fact that she's fucking me here, right? The fact that she's fucking me here, the fact that she's raping me here and sexually assaulting me here. But what he will do is he will take what she's criminally doing here and presenting it before the American people and presenting it before his white friends in these so-called churches as if he's clean. And it's not just him, but it's the Obama administration also. These people are not doing this by themselves. You don't put an old Haitian woman on an intercom, you know, in Pioneer Square Park or on the buses or the trains or in every apartment complex via satellite unless the federal government is involved. So the federal government is fucking me to until I spill somebody's blood on the American continent. Now the question is, whose blood do I spill? And of course, upon my spilling somebody's blood, and literally to kill, then they have jurisdiction to gun me down. In other words, they're not going to stop harassing and stop persecuting until I kill someone, which is what John MacArthur did. You know, I guess he did it twice, and he went to jail for 10 years. I don't think I have a shot at going to jail for any amount of time. I think what they want, what they're plotting, and what they're hoping to do is gun me down. So as soon as I get the nerve to stab someone, kill someone, spill someone's blood, and murder someone, then I can. That's my freedom. My only freedom right now is death. This is what the U.S. government is basically communicating. And if I was to kill someone, I would want it to be John MacArthur and Gabriel Franklin. I would want it to be the very people trespassing into my home and sodomizing me and fucking and raping me. I wouldn't want it to be an innocent person who had nothing to do with what they're doing now. Okay, and so I mean, here's a third video for the last day of the month. Now, when Michael Bunn responds to this, you know, what is going to be his response, right? You need to leave this apartment complex, and that puts me right back out there among the homeless, right? And then can I stay in the Portland area as a homeless? No, because the homeless have attacked me. The police department comes down to the homeless level to attack. That means anything I say, anything I do, and it's not just one, it's the whole gang of police officers. And the police officers from Gresham, police officers from Beaverton, police officers right here in Portland. And so they're not homeless people, they're men that are trained in using revolvers, men that are, they're you take a police officer who has no HIV, who has no AIDS, who has no diseases, and he's militarily trained, and he's alert 24/7, 7 days a week. All he has to do is change his clothes. When he comes out on you, you're not even going to be aware of the fact that you're not dealing with the homeless. The homeless are despondent. They're the people carrying around backpacks all day, every day. They're the people that are dirty and filthy and unclean and have nowhere to even lay their heads. Their thinking is different. They know that as a homeless, they got to stay down in order to do what? In order to get a piece of, a food or a meal somewhere. They know that they don't come out the way an officer would come out. Their mentality is completely different. Than that of an officer who would leave his post wherever he was at to come and deal with an issue, and more than just to beat your ass, but to kill you. You understand what I'm saying? So there's something transpiring here in the West Coast against me that it eventually is going to get somebody out of this group killed, and most likely I'm the one that's going to end up getting assassinated by one of these homosexuals. For whatever purpose or reason, because I didn't submit to slavery. So this is what I'm getting for not submitting to white supremacy and African slavery in the 21st century, right here in the United States of America under Barack Obama. And Obama is probably he's not a closet homosexual. I think he's out, and he's fucking Biden, whatever his name is, and on the I guess on the homosexual side they have to put on that facade of being straight. And when they're not putting on the facade of being straight and they're out there, they are who they are. So here we go again, right here. right here. The bed has been defiled. You understand what I'm saying? My bed has been defiled. And I'm not living large here and in charge. I'm weeping before you, the American government and the people, and I'm saying, why have you done this to me? Because you're of the devil, because you're antichrist. Why have you done this to me? Because you are children of Satan and you're compassionless. You're a bunch of hateful people. You know, why have you done this to me? Because you don't believe in God, and you as a government are not under God, you're under the devil. Why have you done this to me? Because you are a rebellious people, an unbelieving people, because God did not send his son into the world so that you as a government could give people permission to marry one another. Even if a woman has a cock in between her legs rather than a vagina, you know, that's the judgment of God against humanity. It's not the community, it's the judgment of God. It's the wrath of God being displayed. And if a man has the whole compartment of manhood and he has a vagina in between his legs, again, that's the judgment of God against humanity. God is judging man. Why are you doing this? Because you are under God's judgment. I never did anything to the government or the police department or Gabrielle Franklin for her to come at her age to be fucking me, to be in agreement with John MacArthur and to be in agreement with these white supremacist police officers. You know, I could hear Gabrielle and her reasoning is because you died. Because I died? If my body was dead, how is it that I was erected? If my body is dead, how is it that I'm erected for her to come in here to fuck me for 2 hours? Do you understand what I'm saying? To have intercourse with my sleeping body. How does a sleeping body get an erection, Gabrielle Franklin? Guy Franklin, ask your mother, how does a sleeping body, how does a dead body get an erection? Tell me, Guy Franklin, you cocksucking homosexual who would not confess the truth about your family. Tell me, you queer, you black snake. Tell me how did your mother become so promiscuous with the US government, right? As her protection. How did your 90-something-year-old mother, or was she even your mother? She was probably the woman that was fucking you, that brought you into the country for that purpose, and now you've passed on the baton to me. I don't want your baton. I don't want your Negro, your nigger, your snake woman that you have. She stuck needles all over my body so that, you know, for whatever purpose or reason. I'm not exactly sure where these people are at in this building at Gretchen Kafuri Commons. I don't know where they're hiding, and they're forever hiding. And you already know where the sleeping gas is coming from. And as soon as my body hits the bed, you know, it's like, you know, this is the fellowship of the New Testament church. You know, this is what New Testament church ministers, people who actually believe. You see those people on those stages, those are not believers. Those are not people that are suffering for the name of Christ. I'm suffering for the name of Christ because I'm naming the name of Jesus, who is what? Who was never famous and who never had, you know, a cloud among the empire. So this is what the empire has become, and this is what the empire is doing today in the 21st century. You wouldn't think so, but this is what they're doing. This is what they're like. Now, when you're on their campuses, they're not going to give you what they're giving to me here, right? When you're on their European supposed Christian campuses, what I'm getting here in this apartment is not what they're going to give you unless you come out. You know, unless you come out on their properties, these big, huge, gigantic European properties where they're acting famous and acting important, and the word of God is, the Bible is being presented. You know, you're not going to get none of this. You're not going to get what I'm getting right now. You understand? They're going to be as pleasant as possible and as amiable as possible. They're going to stay in, right? But as soon as you cross the line to call them out and to show them where your heart really at with their hypocrisy, and where your heart is at with the falseness, then they're going to suck you, fuck you, rape you, take your pants off, molest you, jerk you off. They're going to do it all to you. And Gabrielle Franklin is a pro. She has been trained to the maximum. I mean, there's not a person in America who doesn't know the woman who has not embraced her vagina position, right? I mean, morality went out the window. There is no morality in any of this. Morality, purity, godliness. I mean, when you read Paul says what? Godliness is what we should be pursuing. How is it godly that this woman is fucking me? There's no godliness in this woman. The godlessness is in this situation. Godlessness is in this woman. The woman is a fucking machine. You know, you put quarters in a machine downstairs to wash your clothes. This woman is like a fucking machine. The quarters never stop going through. She's a sucker, and she's a fucker, and she's a sucker and a fucker. I mean, it doesn't matter what times during the course of the day, this woman is fucking and sucking and fucking and sucking and fucking and sucking. I mean, I hate to say it like that, church, but that's just the reality of who this woman is and what this woman is doing to my body. She's not my woman. She's not my wife. She's 50, 40 years my senior. How do you get a child or a family out of a fucking machine? You know, the woman is an antichrist, and she's going to be an antichrist until the day that she dies. And as long as the American government is keeping her alive, they're using her against me so that I don't become a legitimate minister. You understand? Haitians don't become John MacArthur's. Haitians don't go to the same schools of like Talbot Theological Seminary to graduate like MacArthur. You know, no Haitian, no African is allowed to copy or mimic or be equal and to stand in the same platform. Why? Because the man is not standing on a Christian platform. He's not standing on a Christian platform where God the Father has come down and spoken to him, nor is he being led by the Spirit of God the Father. What he's being led by is a devil. You understand what I'm saying? And why am I still being fucked here? Because that's what they want. She wants to fuck me until blood is shed. You know, you tell me, Americans, who do I kill for this? To redeem my manhood. Who do I murder for this? Right? The President of the United States, who will not who will not respond to my emails? Some old lady that lives in a building? Some black woman or some black man? I mean, the blood of an innocent person is not going to stop what's going on here. What is going to stop this? What is going to stop this is you Americans who know what's going on and who says that's enough and take a step. Because let me tell you something. After this clan, this gay community is done with me, they're going to give it to you the same way they've been giving it to me.